Welcome to the Fascia-Informed Therapist, the essential podcast for occupational therapy professionals looking to deepen their understanding of fascia's pivotal role in therapy and health. I'm your host, Amy Mayer, an experienced occupational therapist, practice owner, and dedicated educator. Here we'll dive into the fascinating world of fascia, exploring its significance in the human body and its critical influence on occupational therapy practice. Each episode will bring you cutting-edge insights, expert interviews, and practical strategies to help you confidently integrate the science of fascia into your therapeutic approach. Whether you're a seasoned practitioner or just starting out, our goal is to equip you with high-quality, evidence-based, and fascia-informed continuing education opportunities that will enhance your skills and benefit your clients. So join us as we unravel the complexities of fascia and transform the way you practice occupational therapy. All health and wellness practitioners are welcome. Let's learn, grow, and evolve together. Hi, this is Amy, and this is another edition of the Fascia-Informed Therapist. And I've been told by people close to me that I should record a video version of this podcast, and I have been very reluctant to do that, and I'll be completely honest, because I have to wear something other than a t-shirt. I have to comb my hair, maybe put on a little makeup, and that doesn't always appeal to me every day. So anyway, just being honest. Today I decided what I wanted to talk about is our Fascia-Informed Woman course. And I think I started this course last year around this time because it occurred to me that so many women, all people, men and women, people of all, anyway, any gender, any whatever, want to be more fit. They want to be healthier. And that's often one of the top 5 New Year's resolutions is to pull together some kind of better fitness routine, maybe to lose weight, maybe eat better. But fitness is really important. And I've seen it in my practice many, many times where people who are just not fit and are really, their posture's not good, they have pain, they don't have a lot of stability in their body, but yet they jump right into some kind of workout, whether it's, I'm going to start going to Pilates, I'm going to do a Beachbody DVD, I'm going to jump on some YouTube channel and just start doing whatever they're doing on that channel. What I see, especially in women in my age range, is our bodies just aren't ready for that. If you haven't been doing anything and you've got the posture issues and the pain and the not great habits, you have to get your body ready. And so I've had several people take the class. I've gotten some really good comments, but I really haven't ever really pushed it, really got it out there and tried to sell it. I think my weakness, my strength is I love to create. I love to take the ideas I have and get them down into a class or a book or a whatever. And this is what writing a book looks like. These are all the different chapters. Anyway, it's important. I love to get things out. I love to be creative. But the whole sales piece, and I talked about that in a past podcast, is not always as easy. It doesn't flow super easy. So anyway, what I'm working on today is I'm putting together a newsletter that talks about the importance of this course, and then I'm going to walk you through some of that, and then I'm going to walk you through the Fascia-Informed Woman course, and maybe it'll spark some ideas for you on how to work with your clients who are thinking about starting a New Year's fitness program, and some things that they should watch out for and maybe do to prepare their body to be more challenged, to accept a greater challenge. So I've started my newsletter, and maybe some of you are on the newsletter and you will actually get this, so we'll see. So I started with a headline of, if you are like many others worldwide, you're considering improving your fitness in 2025. And I'm trying to do some, quicker, punchier lines, where all of our, including mine, all of our attention spans are decreasing. So did you know the number one recommendation for women and men too, but I'm always thinking about women. That's sort of where my heart is, my passion. The number one recommendation for women to improve both physical and mental health is exercise. Moving, building, and maintaining your muscle is a key component to living a healthy lifestyle, being healthy. And we definitely agree, because, people think I only talk about fascia and I just care about fascia. No, I do a lot to try and keep my muscles strong as well. However, fascia surrounds every muscle group. Fascia surrounds every individual muscle. Fascia surrounds every single muscle fiber. So if your fascia isn't healthy, how can you safely gain muscle? It's very difficult, and your risk for injury goes up. And I did not include this in the newsletter, but in the fascia science course, I share an article where they looked at teenage girls, surprisingly, who were in sports. And when they were asked to gain muscle strength really quickly through starting 2-a-days and putting them in the weight room, the risk of injury went up, and those injuries were in the fascial tissue. Fascia can't change at the rate that we can build muscle. And remember that exercise and fitness is something that there's no word for it in a lot of indigenous cultures, because we're just designed to just move all day long. And so exercise just used to be something you did for rehabilitation, or you did to prepare your body for some really unusual feat, like climbing a mountain or participating in some kind of sport. So we just didn't do it. So anyway, yes, fascia, if we can gain muscle slowly and consistently over time, our fascia has a much better chance to keep up. But when we're also dealing with, in today's world, where we're more sedentary, we're here working on our computers a lot, or we're sitting in our leisure time, we're sitting in our work time, then our fascia gets tighter and our muscles have to push more against it. And that's difficult to do, because a lot of fitness programs don't really incorporate stretching. And if they do, it's not the kind of stretching that your fascia needs. Okay, so I wish I could include all that in my newsletter, but nobody would read it. Okay, so the next one. Did you know many adults have difficulty starting or maintaining a fitness program due to fear of injury, pain, or both? We understand. However, there are many things you can do to prevent injury and increase your chances of sticking with an exercise program. Bullet points. Improve your posture. Your body functions better when you have good posture, making you more injury resistant. And I just finished recording another video talking about stability, creating stability in your joints for the Fascia-Informed Woman course, because I teach it constantly in my weekly classes. I teach it to my clients who show up with shoulder issues and hip issues, especially. Creating that stability. You got to have that mobility in the joint, but you also have need the stability in the joint before you can start lifting heavier things. Otherwise, we end up doing all sorts of compensation type stuff. Get up to date on how to keep yourself safe. There are many exercise myths, and this is a lot of what I cover in the Fascia-Informed Woman, this stuff about how to tighten your core, what your core really is. And don't get me started. I think I've done another podcast on that. Get the facts, balance the tension in your fascia before starting. Too much tension leads to injury and pain. And we know the fascia has 10 times more nerve endings in it, and that's where a lot of our pain comes from. So putting too much tension in having too much tension in the fascia is just asking for trouble. And if we're not in good alignment and all these other things, we're going to end up putting more tension in the fascia than it needs. It needs to have some tension, right, to keep us up against gravity. But too much is going to cause problems, and we're probably not going to have the success we're looking for with our exercise program. And then create stability before you train with weights. As I just said, compensation happens if we don't do that. And manage your pain first and then grow your muscles. If you are just pushing through pain, again, you're asking for trouble. You're probably going to fail. Things are going to get worse, and we don't want that. We want to teach people to manage their pain, get that pain down, teach people not to gut through pain for exercise. Okay. All right, next. Did you know it's more important to exercise with gentle consistency rather than intensity? And this is true. However, you must be aware of what this really means. Our bodies are designed to function best when we move consistently throughout the day. What counts as exercise? All movement, but we benefit most when it adds up to about 150 minutes per week, and we add in some resistance. We do not have to sweat up a storm, have rock hard muscles, and a super flat stomach to be fit. That's all cultural myths, which frustrates the heck out of me, because that's what people think if they can achieve that flat stomach and some muscles, then they're good to go. There's more than that. There's more than that. And just to keep your body safe. So you should not exercise through pain. And I talk about how we totally redid our workshops for we redid most of our workshops for 2025 to start incorporating, rather than just, we really focused on using the balls to put pressure into the fascial system, to open it up, to start taking pressure off and releasing the sensation of pain and creating a little bit more mobility. And that's, once in a while we weave in some other things, but now we're a bit more intentionally weaving in not just the myofascial self-treatment, but also other kinds of stretching that you can do when you don't have the therapy balls with you. We're going to talk more about posture, and we're going to talk more about identifying your own habits in order to figure out, well, what's putting all this tension in my fascial system? And that's what OTs really excel at. So now we still have the whole body, the level 1 whole body myofascial self-treatment course, but then we have head, neck pain, jaw pain, and shoulder pain, because those things often go together. We know as myofascial therapists that we got to look at the whole body, but that's not how the public thinks. So you got to reach them how you can reach them. Then we have back pain care, because that's one of the biggest problems in our nation anyway. And then we have another one called hip pain, knee pain, and foot pain, because those things often go together. And then we have our breast and chest pain workshop that we did this last October, and it was fabulous. And I'm really excited where that one's going to take us. And then we have a mobility and stability, creating a sustainable body course. And then we have our wonderful releasing stuck emotions that we do with Lisa Basili, licensed mental health practitioner and psychotherapist extraordinaire. So she and I team up on that course, and we weave in a lot of meditation to go with the pressure from the balls to just try to connect what emotion was in there. And it's pretty fascinating and fun to teach course. So that takes us to the Fascia-Informed Woman, because I know that most of the world does not live here in Omaha and can't necessarily get to our workshops. So a lot of the stuff that we teach in the workshops is in this course. I don't teach a lot of the myofascial self-treatment in this course, but teach everything leading up to that. And I'll pop open the course itself and walk you through. So you can also see, if you go to our course library, you can also see the full course layout if you go onto the page for that particular class. And there's, I don't have any on preview, but you can see the flow of the course. So I talk about why I'm focusing on just women. And one of the reasons that I'm really focusing on women is because there is a disparity. There's a lot of disparity in research, and a lot of the research health-wise has been done on men. And one of the reasons I left women out, because our hormones complicate things, and it's too many variables to weed out. But there has been massive changes, especially in postmenopausal care. But still, 70% of women who are postmenopausal, like myself, have some kind of pain, and most of them have chronic pain, and many of them have pain that interferes with daily activities. So I care a lot about that. And even in my younger years, I still loved working with women and women who were older than myself. And I think part of the reason I just liked being around women who are older is because I can learn from them. I can learn. Oh, I do. I have a few things on public preview, and that is one of them. Okay, then I talk about safety, how to keep yourself safe, things to look out for, and then the importance of building that strong foundation. And for anybody who's taking the course that doesn't know a lot about fascia, I talk a little bit about the fascial system itself so they understand that. But probably if they're coming to this course, they've learned a little bit about fascia somewhere. And then how to get the most from the course. And I let them know that they should, there's some things that you can follow along with, that you can do some self-assessment. So I provide a little journal for them, or they can follow along with their own journal and make notes on things that they need to pay attention to as they move forward in their own body. And then shifting into a new approach, really thinking about the myths that are out there and being open to learning something new. And then I talk about creating conscious movement. And the reason that I do that is because over the years, especially when you've been around the sun a few times, you have a lot of habits in the way that you hold your body, the way you hold your tension, the way that you stand, the way that you sit, and letting them know that it's important that they bring all that back into their conscious thought. And I'll give you an example. I had a client over the last couple weeks who developed some plantar fasciitis in, I can't remember if it was right or left, but I said, well, do you clench your toes? Do you grab the ground with your toes? And she said, oh, no, I don't do that. I take yoga. She doesn't take my yoga, but she said, no, I don't do that. And I don't know why this is happening. And she came back for her appointment yesterday, and she goes, you know what? I paid attention to that, and I grab with my toes. I grab into the ground. And I said, okay, well, we don't know if that's what caused it, but that might slow down your healing. So if you can bring that back into your consciousness and stop doing that when you catch yourself, that's one way that you can accelerate your healing from this. Okay. So we talk about the next section is healing first, then fitness. So healing the body from any kind of inflammation, if you have pain, not gutting through pain. And then we talk about easing into every moment. That's the next section. Because what I typically see, it's kind of like that no pain, no gain attitude, but it's more like, okay, we're going to do a squat. And then people drop down into that lowest squat they can on the first squat. And you're way more likely to hurt yourself if you do something like that. Rather, I teach people, especially the people of my age and up, is you don't go from 0 to 100. Your 100 is where you think you can go. So let's make our first squat 0 to maybe 50. And then if that feels good, go 0 to 60. If that feels, maybe go 0 to 60 again and a few more times. And then if that starts to ease up, then go 0 to 70. And then keep slowly working into the depth that you can go, rather than going all out on your first rep of anything, but especially something that is full body or involves weight. Okay, the importance of fascia and fitness, and in this particular section we talk about more about what it is and why it's important to keep all of it in mind when we're exercising. And then the importance of fascia and emotional health, and the things that have happened to us in our past can affect the tension. And when we start to work that tension out, sometimes we can feel our emotions more completely, more accurately, and that can be very helpful there. Then I talk about the concept of consistency over intensity. Our body loves that, being consistent and being gentle. And then safety as a priority, and we talk a little bit about balance here. And I don't like it when people think that practicing and improving their balance is just about doing balance, like standing on one leg. There's so many more details to it. And how's your ankle range of motion? How's the mobility in your feet? How is the stability in your hip? Are you using your core correctly? All those things go into it. And if you are having an issue with your balance, hang on to something. You're not doing yourself any favors by doing all this wobbliness and not paying attention to all those details. Rather, hang on to the wall or the chair and work on that strength, work on that stability of your hip joint, rather than just wobbling all over the place and thinking that's going to make things better. So we talk about that. And then creating your just right challenge, something that OTs are so good at. We're so good at grading things and talking to the participant about finding their just right challenge and not overdoing it. But where are you successful yet a little bit challenged? That's the just right challenge. Then we get into building the foundation for the future. And that is, we start with breathing. Most people that come into my office anyway aren't diaphragmatic breathers, and they need to be taught that. And that's foundational. And I also talk about nose breathing over mouth breathing and really trying to pull breath back through your nose as opposed to breathing with your mouth. And if you haven't read James Nestor's book, highly recommend. And then we talk about the true core. What is the true core? It's front and back, having them try some activities where they feel that in their body. And then we go through a posture assessment, and it's a fairly brief one, and then talking about why posture is important in daily life and how that creates the body through the pressures from gravity and your postural choices and the fibroblasts and all that stuff. And we stay pretty superficial at that level, but at least it's helping them understand the connection between having good posture. And I think I might even talk about how athletes pay so much attention to posture because they perform better and they're more resilient from injury. And then we talk about lifestyle considerations that will accelerate their progress. And that's simple things like hydration, eating more whole foods, eating better, bringing the stress level down, basically lifestyle medicine factors that can help you heal faster and create the body that you want. And then what to do next and where to start today. And I give them some tips about integrating movement into daily life and how to create that consistency throughout the day. If they're really stiff, I share with them a video on how to start creating the different motions of the spine so that they can create that foundational mobility in the spine, which is important. And then we talk about starting to create the mobility in the hips, the shoulder, and the core. And then creating your plan. What did you learn about yourself as you went through the course and what can you do? And then I give them another bonus follow along video that has the 3 exercises I give out the most. Then we let them know that if they're stuck or struggling at all, that we do virtual coaching sessions. If they want to ask us questions about what they learned, we do let them know that we cannot legally do a full occupational therapy evaluation session on them because of the whole, hopefully someday we'll have the License Portability Act all in place and we can do that. But right now it's just hands-off coaching. And then we offer them a free month of participating in our classes, the classes I teach, and Caitlin will sub in for me once in a while. But I teach a once a month fascia-informed yoga once a week fascia-informed yoga, and then once a week fascia-informed fitness, where we do work on more strength and stability. So 1 month, and that's where they can take everything that they learned and they can jump in on those classes with me, and I reinforce all these concepts as I teach my classes. And then, of course, a big thank you for them and other resources where they can, if they want to find a therapist in their particular area, if they feel like they need a little extra help with some hands-on myofascial care. And then, of course, evaluation and an offer so that they can take some of the other courses. If they want to take the full self-treatment course, or if they want to take the full posture course, or take the full mobility course, they can do all of that. So that's our Fascia-Informed Woman course. Now, I would say that probably many people who listen to this podcast are also women, and perhaps you could benefit from this course as well and learn something about taking care of yourself, because OTs we're up there, especially you practicing in traditional areas, but I am at risk in the practice area that I am in too for injury. So I have to take very good care of my body. But I know I was listening to a Mary Claire Haver's book, The New Menopause, I think it's called. And she actually had a case study in there of an OT who was a pediatric therapist and noticed as she was, I don't think she was in full postmenopausal yet, but she's kind of moving through there. And she just noticed that she couldn't get on the ground the same anymore. And it was too painful, and she was gaining weight and just wasn't as flexible. And we know that happens too. And I've talked about this in other podcasts, that as our estrogen levels go down, stiffness in the fascia goes up. And that's a study from Carla Stecco, that I do believe I include in here as well, and it's in the fascia science course too. But I would love to see every woman take this course, and especially women who have jobs that are demanding of them, but even jobs where you have to sit all day, this can be very helpful, so you know more of what you can do to counter that sedentariness. So anyway, there, I did a video podcast. And thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to the Fascia-Informed Therapist. It's been a pleasure sharing insights and strategies to help you integrate fascia science into your practice. I'm Amy Mayer, and I hope today's episode has inspired you to explore further and take your therapeutic skills to the next level. Remember, we're committed to creating and providing top-notch, evidence-based, fascia-informed continuing education that empowers you as an occupational therapy practitioner. Stay connected with us for more enriching content, and don't forget to check out our online courses to deepen your expertise. Until next time, keep expanding your knowledge, refining your skills, and confidently applying the science of fascia to your practice. Here's to advancing together in health and wellness.